Cheers, internet, and my muted mic for ruining the start of this stream. Oh, yes, let's do it. 19-point gap at the top of the driver standings currently, if you didn't know already. Chris leading from Dion. Dion's going to want to close it down, but I'm not sure whether he will be able to tonight, because Chris has shown some immense pace throughout. Red Bull 16 points away from Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo took the lead of the constructors last time out in France, following their 1-2 finish with Mills straight in F1. Big whoopee. Yeah, right, cheers. Let's hope we have a good race tonight with no more internet deaths, because I'm not having this. I am really not having this tonight. I want some fun racing. Oh, it's sprint week as well. I should have really mentioned that. It is China sprint. Yeah. So that should be fun for the first part of the race. Yay. I reckon Chris will win that. Followed by Chris. Followed by maybe Chris. And then Chris behind him. For third place in the Constructors as well, there's only a 14-point gap. For fifth in the Constructors, there is only a 7-point gap between fifth and sixth place. Alpine and Williams could see a few swings here tonight. Dexy streaming on McDonald's Wi-Fi. I've turned my phone Wi-Fi off, so I'm hoping that works out now. But yeah, I am indeed streaming on McDonald's Wi-Fi right now. I think even that's a shout. Honestly, McDonald's is a shout. I can't really think of anything else with less Wi-Fi, to be fair. McDonald's will do. Might have to check I'm not on my neighbour's television for an internet provider, because that wouldn't be very good. Peter's back, that's nice. Davey's here as well. Predictions for Swifty. DNF. Next, please. I don't actually know, to be fair. And the McLaren. There's only one McLaren, and that is you, Luke. China. It exists. I don't know how people are around China. I only know about Ghost and Tim, and I'm not going to say a word because I did some open lobbies with them not too long ago. And we had a very fun three-way fight, and it was quite enjoyable. You said that in Zandvoort, and I came in P4. Reverse psychology, Swifty. Reverse psychology. Get ready for the race win, mate. Big old P1 tonight. No, I'm not saying anything for you, Swifty. I don't want to jinx you in any sort of way, so just DNF in it. Yeah, crash out, please. Make my prediction correct. And for I don't really know much about your ability at China. I've never raced with you before. So, I reckon mid-pack. You've kind of shown that this season. You're not the high. Well, you are a decent driver. I'll give you that. But you're not a higher-end driver. But you're not a low-end driver either. There's a few of those. So I think you are more. I reckon upper mid-pack. So P5 or P6. I reckon tonight. Judging by your previous performances, and people are readying up for season. And no, they're not. They're readying up. Okay, let's do this. Let's get a show on the road, and let's see what people can do tonight. Is this going to be a fast track for people? Is this going to be a slower track for people? I stick around midfield, but like Silverstone, I can battle with the leaders. My first race without traction control, so probably a DNF. I called it. Yeah, I've turned my phone Wi-Fi off now, so it seems to be working out. Anyway, China, one-shot qualifying. Let's get to it. Let's see what people can do here tonight. I don't know whether to count the kink after turn 2 as a corner. Right, you know what? China track map, we're getting it up. I don't want to mess this up tonight. I always mess up the corner numbers. I did it on France, so I'm not doing it tonight. I don't think it does on this one. Give us 1 minute, people. Ah, so the first 2 corners count as corners themselves, and it does count as a kink still. Wait, what? That's turn 6. Oh my. Okay then. There's no other like profane corners, so we should be okay. Okay, let's do it. Through turn 1 now, heading towards turn 2 because this is actually a double corner. Crazy. Stein currently up there surprisingly. Chris though, obviously usual dominance off turn 3, heading towards now turn 4. This little kink. And as usual, today looks like a Chris dominated day. Davies though, putting some decent speed so far, holding it in P2 for the time being. Stein with a very, very impressive lap so far. He's smashing it, I'll give him that. Really strong from Stein so far. Now then, on the brakes, Drew 11 and now heading through turn 12. Now through the bank corner of turn 13. Now, the 1 kilometre long straight, the longest straight in F1. Davies has slipped down the order a bit. Peter and Bus have moved up the order, up into what is now P2 and P3. Those two are switching positions a decent amount. As now Bus moves back up into P2, Stein there switching positions with Peter, and now Tim getting himself in on the action, up in P4 currently. Here comes Christo around the final corner, and he's put himself in the wall and will start last. So that puts Bus on pole, Tim P2, Peter P3, Jax P4, Stein P5, Davies P6, Ghost in P7, Volta Reflex in P8. P9 will go to Dion, very poor, but he is ahead of Chris, so that's alright. Yeah, P9 Dion, P10 Turbo Speed, P11 was Luke, P12 was a Haas, but I didn't see who, P13 was Swifty on his newly found no traction control. Yeah, it was Coach's Kid in P12, and then P13 was Swifty, and obviously Chris decided to put himself in the wall, so that'll be P14 for him here tonight. Alright, let's get to the sprint. Should be a good one, I guess. Like, I'm excited as usual. Sprints are always a bit of fun. Decently close there up at the front. Could really have gone anyone's way, but it went the way of Bus in the end. Obviously with Chris deciding to put himself in the wall, or maybe he did just get oversteer. I'm not 1,000,000% sure on that one, but something happened. So he's either pulling off a last to first challenge tonight, or he is just gonna drive and not finish first in the sprint. Anyway, 5 lights ahead of the drivers for the sprint race here in China. And it's lights out and away we go for round 11 here. Tim gets a brilliant start here in the sprint, takes the lead heading into turn 1, the P2 man on the grid. Peter up into P3, Stein there going side by side with Davies. Peter trying to get up into P2 and does so. Bus still there though, Bus still holding it out on the inside. Peter gets himself past. Now heading towards turn 5, and is that the 2 Alpines hitting each other? It is the 2 Alpines, and they have hit each other. That's gone the wrong way for them. Meanwhile there, Chris looking to try and make some moves there, with Swifty also in that bunch there. So your order for now: Tim from Peter, from Bus, from Davies, from Jax, Stein, Dion. Swifty going side by side with Dion actually. Swifty going around the outside. That's a lovely move if he pulls it off. And indeed he has. Brilliant move there from Swifty. And now Coach's Kid also having a look on Dion. Past Dion. Volta Reflex currently in P13 out of 13. And that there is a very wide run from Peter. Might open up a door here for Bus. Or it might even open up the door for Peter. Maybe the exit speed is what he was looking for there. Gets a good amount of slipstream down the straight. I don't think he's going to get close enough though. Davies not too far away from Bus either there. As Tim takes a bit of a wider line. Maybe the better call here. Just get himself the exit speed. Meanwhile, who's that? It's Luke and Stein there. Involved in that incident there as well. Luke is able to get past Stein. Also their coaches going past Stein as Luke pits. So I think that is damage there for Luke. Is that someone in the wall? No, it wasn't. Unless I'm not 1,000,000% on that one. Dion and coaches are the two closest drivers on track, so we will watch them. Dion putting pressure on coaches, and he needs to because Chris has had an unbelievable first lap. Put himself up into P6, which now might turn into P5 as to the outside of Jax he goes. Might switch it, is gonna try and switch it, and he does indeed get the exit speed down. Oh my, what a save that is from Chris. Very, very close to a full-on back-end loss, which would have resulted in a spin there. As now he's right on the rear of Jax. He's surely gonna have a look soon. The door's opening up, and it will be now surely down the straight, heading towards turn 11. Down the inside he goes. Jax doesn't leave the space, shuts the door on him, but it was all nice and clean there. Davies now following Bus down the straight, 4/10 difference. Chris also slipstreaming Jax. Much out though behind because Turbo Speed is also putting pressure on this fight. Who will come out on top in the sprint is still wide open here. Tim leads, but Chris is on the charge and Jax is sliding around. Chris is surely going to want this move soon. I think it might be now. Here he comes down the main straight. Big opportunity. Goes to the outside for turn 1. Will he be able to get the move done? No, he will not. Jax here holding up Chris, and he's had to back out of that one purely because of his pace. Unbelievable speed. I think we will see some overtakes though on this lap. I think this sprint could get a whole lot more interesting very, very shortly. As that there is Dion still putting pressure on coaches. And Davies there up at the front trying to get that move done on Bus and maybe take the lead on this lap. There's still potential here for a 4 wide moment or anything to happen in the sprint. Sprints are just that wide open gamble. You just don't know what's going to happen. But I think I can see one overtake that definitely will happen. It is these two right here. Surely Chris has got to get that move done soon. He's been looking for it for a while as Dion there has had an incident in the background. That's not going to help his championship hopes. Chris still applying pressure on Jax. I think there has to be that move done soon. Or Chris might well be out of this one. Get it yet. So, that's interesting. Peter can't get close enough. Bus gaining time on Peter. Tim under pressure. Jax obviously is still under all that pressure right now from Chris. Chris unable yet to pull off the overtake, but I think now is a pretty decent chance. He's got the better run. Here comes Chris to the outside for turn 1 once again, and this time he does get the move done. No, he doesn't. Jax is still there. Chris goes all the way around the outside. Jax still keeps his nose in though. They're still close here, and Chris will eventually get the move done and move himself finally up into P5 in this sprint race. Very solid race so far from him. Meanwhile there, Tim still leading the way from Peter, from Bus, from Davies, and now from Chris with Jax still keeping on the rear. Behind them, everyone else seems pretty spread apart. I don't think there will be anything else of interest happening in this race. But Peter, well, further back anyway, Peter though, gaining time. He will be close here. He will be very, very close. Davies now falling back into the clutches of Chris. Everyone falls back into the clutches of Chris at some point. That is one thing that is inevitable. Here comes Chris. Once again, slipstream all the way down the straight here. Actually, if we look ahead, Peter might have the opportunity here. He is a bit too far back. Meanwhile there, Chris will pull to the inside. Gonna try it, and he's gonna hold it down the inside. It's a lovely manoeuvre, and Davies is forced to back out of it. Chris up into P4, but he only has one more lap to do an attempt at this lead. Don't know whether he'll get it yet. Cristiano though, obviously fastest lap of the race. Peter having to go defensive there to hold up Bus, and he might open opportunity. I've stumbled over my words. I was going to say it might open up an opportunity for Bus, and it does not. Bus in the end goes all the way around, pulls off a pirouette there. Chris though gaining time once again. This time it's Peter that's under pressure from him. This is a sprint race charge and a half from Chris. Once again though, has to catch that rear end. I don't know whether he can still win this sprint. It's going to be very tight, I can tell you that though, to the line. This is going to have to be a last gasp move here for Chris if he does still want to win this race. Peter seems close as well, and maybe is still in contention to win this race. It could go anyone's way still here. It's mainly these three though now. Don't count Davies out though quite yet. Davies is still there in the other Williams car. Williams can definitely get some great points off this race. But now Tim has pulled away, and that there might be the snap that decides the entire race, as that there is Stein retiring from the session. He was last place anyway. That doesn't affect a thing. And that there was the snap that will affect this entire sprint. Tim now only has 2 corners to go, and now surely Tim, unless he makes a huge mistake off this final corner, Tim is gonna cross the line here and win the sprint in China, weaving his way across. P3 Cristiano, P2 Peter, P4 goes to Davies, P5 Bus, P6 Jax, P7 Swifty with his no traction control for the first time. Very solid result for him. P8 Coaches, P9 Turbo Speed, P10 will be Dion, P11 when he gets there will be Luke, and P12 when he also gets there will be Volta. Very fun sprint as usual today. Chris with the comeback drive of the century. He had to do it. He had to pull it off, and he did. P3 he will start on the grid, not front row, maybe where he wanted to be, as now Vono crossed the line himself. For P12, Stein and it was Ghost, the 2 DNFs in this race. One of them hit his own teammate, the other one just, I don't really know, but it happened. But there's your sprint, there's your podium for the sprint. And there, as usual, is a very, very strong sprint race from Chris himself, and also Tim. Tim put on a great amount of pressure, about the right amount of pace, and takes home the sprint race today. Great result. Great result. And now we have a 28 lap race around Shanghai International Circuit. Because the stream just clapped, honestly. If the stream is really that bad, then I may as well just end it because I don't know what's going on. My internet's been awful today. May as well be running it on a potato. Probably would be better. Alright lads, is the stream better now? That's the question that I'm asking to the grateful supporters. Is the stream better? Because if it isn't, I honestly may as well just not even stream the race if it is that clapped. If my internet is genuinely being that stupid, then I don't really see a point in streaming the Grand Prix. I'm readying up, but I'm still don't know whether to stream the race. I will, but if it just crashes, then I'm not restarting. Hate to say it, I don't see a point in restarting, because it will just do the exact same thing as last time. I'm sure of that, so yeah. If this doesn't work, then well, A, I'm getting a new internet provider, and B, I'm not restarting the stream. Sorry, boys. Anyway, China, let's do it. Let's see the pace that these drivers do have today. It seems like Chris, once again, is the fastest man out there, but will strategy fall into his hands again? And he said again then, Mel's last time out took strategy into his own hands and won the race because of strategy, and purely on the fact that he had the better strategy. That does seem to be Tim's melting point. Chris's melting point in this season. Strategy. He's got pace. He's got race pace. It's brilliant. Puts on a show every single time. But will the strategy come into his hands? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, it's also luck, isn't it, really? With strategy. So if the strategy doesn't go your way, then you're out of luck. You're unlucky. And here we go now for the most exciting lap of the entire session. I'm just gonna go to sleep, right? The most purposeful lap of the entire thing. Right here. Think up their tyres. Chris is gonna have to get a strong start here to say he's starting P3 on the grid. We expected better. Well, I mean, obviously, he would have done better. He would literally. So that's going to be a one-stop by the looks of things for Davies, which is an interesting one. And that is what actually won Mel's last time. Well, Mel's race last time out. So maybe here, Davies is going to pull off the same strategy. Swifty also on the hard tyre. Quite a lot of medium runners. Chris is, in fact, the only soft runner out there, I believe. But no, we do have Luke. And that's it. It's Luke and Chris, both on the soft. Dion also on the hard tyre. He's going long. As now down the straight they come, all weaving their way towards the line. Brilliant camera shot, I've got to say. As now towards the final corner they come, and we will prepare ourselves for what should be another great race in ITR. As per usual, Tim starting on pole today. Peter in P2. He's shown some great qualifying performances recently. Is Chris in here? I think he is. Get a bit confused. No, he is. Okay. Chris is here. As now everyone else lines up on the grid and prepares themselves for another great race, another great day in ITR history. As now the final Mercedes locks himself into grid position, and we will now see the green flag being waved. 1 light, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights now ahead of the drivers, and it is lights out, and away we go. It's Chris that gets the flying start from the second row. He needed it. He gets away strongly and goes all the way around the outside of Tim. Side by side through turn 1 for these two. Into turn 2 now, heading towards turn 3, and there's contact between them. Chris pushes Tim a bit wider through turn 4 now, and it is indeed Chris to take the lead, and now Tim's mistake might make him vulnerable to Peter behind. Here comes Peter now. Stein's lost out there. Peter goes around the outside. Tim still got a nose in though. Bus getting pushed wide there by Davies in the Williams. Peter does come out ahead, so we do see Chris in the lead from Peter, from Tim, from Bus, from Davies, from Jax, from coaches, but he's being pressurised here by Turbo Speed. Those two are now going side by side, and watch out behind them because Luke seems to be piling on the pressure there as well. Turbo Speed though has managed to get himself out in front. Is that a Swifty spin? It is indeed. Meanwhile there, the two out there crashing. The sprint goes side by side once again, both on medium tyres. Similar strategies today for the Alpine boys, as now down the stretch they come. And now we do see the move back for P2 there, and it is Tim. And watch out behind as well, because Bus is now piling on pressure, nearly 3 wide there into the long right-hander, and I think Bus is actually going to get the acceleration ahead of Peter. They're going to go side by side through the final corner. Bus backs out of it. Peter gets the worst exit. Bus with the switch back onto the main straight, and Bus will be the one that gets out in front here. Turbo Speed as well, showing some brilliant pace so far as him and Jax go side by side, and he runs wide there, and then coming back onto the track makes contact with Jax. And now Davies there slowing up Jax, it seems, as that there is round his coach's kid. Is Ghost going to apply some pressure here to Luke, or is he not going to bother? I'm not too sure right now. Meanwhile there, Volta going down the inside of his teammate. If he pulls that move off, it would be nice. The two Alpines once again there make contact. Volta wants to get out on top here because he's going to go all the way around. No, he isn't. He's going to try and cut back and get the exit speed, and that is not going to happen there for him. Now through turn 8, now turn 9, heading towards turn 10, and then a bit of a straight towards turn 11. So far this race, very interesting. We've seen a good amount of overtakes. We've seen the leaders change around a few times. We've seen P3 switch about as well. Davies has held position here on the hard tyres. That could be vital for him. That could be very important. Is that there is Luke on the softs. He needed to utilise that soft stint, and he hasn't done that. Luke's around, heading off turn 13, that is. Very unlucky for the Dutchman. Now then, Tim under pressure from Bus almost here. Bus seems to be closing a little bit every single lap. He's gonna still have to fight Tim here though. If he wants this P2 anyway, he's gonna have to put the pressure on Tim. Maybe not now, maybe later. We'll have to see how things work out here. As now two of the spinners, they are going to do battle here by the looks of things. Stein though, never mind, Stein there does indeed drop back a little bit, but Luke gets the wider line, and he does allow Stein down his inside. Stein and Luke side by side through turn 2, and it will be the exact same through 3. Can Stein get the exit speed? It'd be lovely if he gets the move done. Not quite yet, but now through turn 5 on the outside of 5. Having another look to the outside now of turn 6. These two side by side for what it will be P12. Probably will even turn into P13 with all the battling they're doing. Meanwhile there, Peter is actually putting pressure here. Back on Bus. Is that Luke around again? Of course it is. Very unlucky there for Luke. I think him and Stein have made contact there. Meanwhile, Dion trying to keep with Ghost and Volta, the two Alpines, just up the road from him through turn 13 now. He's struggling on these hard tyres. In a stint he needs to get right if he wants to utilise this championship fight. But meanwhile further ahead, DRS is coming into play, and it's working out perfectly for Peter, who has just fought his way up into P3, back into the podium places. But watch out again, because Bus is now going to have DRS by the looks of things. Indeed he is. He takes the better line there as well. through the final turn. Back comes Bus. He's going to go for it. Turn 1 to the outside. Gets the move done before the corner arrives. Lovely move there from Bus. But watch out because Peter's still piling on pressure. Contact between them. Bus keeps a nose in. I don't think it's going to be quite enough though, as they're once again the two Alpines doing battle. As they receive Volta Reflex, getting past Ghost in the back there. Maybe another go here. Not quite going to be yet. ERS deployment there, helping Volta Reflex to hold that position. Meanwhile, Bus getting on Peter. Will he be able to get the move done anytime soon again? Peter though does seem to be getting a bit on Tim. It's not maybe as much as he wanted, but he's pushing a little bit more. As that there, a bit over the curb from Bus. I'm sure he won't be too fussed about that. Peter though with DRS here, he's looked very dangerous so far when he gets into that DRS window. Meanwhile, guess who's doing battle again? It's the two Alpines. They're loving a bit of a fight so far this race. In the sprint as well, they were loving this battle. As that there is Turbo Speed, he's gone around promoting the Alpines to P7 and P8, and now Volta is going to have a great run here on his teammate. Not quite going to be close enough. Bus can't get the line either on Peter quite yet. Peter's still trying to gain time on Tim. I can't tell who's going to come out on top in this three-way battle. By the looks of things, it probably will be Peter, but I cannot be certain. Meanwhile, Swifty, it's not going well at all for him. A 42-second gap to the car in front of him, Turbo Speed. These three, though, still very, very tight to each other. Only 5/10 splitting Peter and Tim, and then just over a second splitting all three cars right now for P2 in this race. Chris is running away once again. Chris, mate, can you just leave the league? Like, make it a bit easier for all of us. That'd be lovely. Make it a bit more fun as well, because if this was the battle for the lead, this would be a lot more interesting. But because it's only the battle for P2, it doesn't really bring up that interesting factor. They're all on the medium tyre. They're all still, they're putting on pressure on each other. It is still for a lot more points than it would be. Dion is going to gain 2 points in this race. Tim's going to gain what will probably be 18 unless the fastest lap goes this way, which so far, obviously, let me guess, 2 seconds up. Unbelievable. Peter though, still applying pressure to Tim. He's still unable to get close enough. Bus just behind him now, right on his rear. These two now getting close to each other. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see these two doing battle very soon. But still, I think Tim could still fall under pressure here from Peter. He seems to have gained some straight line speed now, especially with DRS. Speaking of DRS, Jax versus Davies. Davies tried to get the switchback done. Not going to happen for him. Meanwhile, Peter has pulled off a big dive and has got Bus back again. So Bus re-overtook him there through turn 1. So Bus clearly does have the better pace over Peter, as proven by that run through turn 6 there. Very tight to each other. Any driver could take victory in this battle. Very close between them right now. I think it will be Bus though, judging by the gaps right now. Seems like Bus is the closest of them all. Well, he obviously is. Like, you'll just have to look at the left hand side of your screen to see that. But yeah, Bus being closer to Peter than Peter is to Tim might well help his race out here through turn 13. That helicopter view, perfect for this battle. If we do see a potential 3-wide moment, which now could potentially happen. Tim losing time here to Peter. Peter's gaining more than he has done before. Bus is still there also. Peter goes for the exit speed. Tim with a bit of a snap of oversteer. Not the biggest snap though. Now through the final turn 15 here. Will Tim lose out here? Now's a chance. Really for Peter, now's a chance. Watch out behind him as well though, because Bus is still there. Now you can put a blanket over all of them, and I'm sure there would still be spaces. Now Peter falling under pressure once again there from Bus, but he is able to hold a position, and now Tim's oversteer might help him now down towards turn 5 to the outside. He's gonna go, lines himself up for turn 6 all the way around, and it is a brilliant move there from Peter, who hugs that tight line perfectly and moves himself up into P2 around the outside there of turn 6. Exactly what he needed to do on Tim. Quite an unexpected move, I gotta admit. I thought that Bus was going to get Peter. Peter was going to fall under too much pressure here. But it seems like Tim is actually the one that's fallen under pressure and has lost the position to Bus. Meanwhile, further behind them, we have two more joining the fight, it seems. Jax and Davies gaining on these three fighting. Meanwhile, Peter there with a double snap of oversteer. Tim is going to have another big chance now down the straight. Meanwhile, Bus is actually gaining a lot on Tim. We have a lot of potential here to go 3 wide. I think we will go 3 wide here. To the inside goes Tim. To the inside goes Bus. Tim gets wide. And now there is 3 wide off the exit. Tim has to run wider. That might be an illegal overtake. It is an illegal overtake, as now he goes side by side with Jax. Tim makes contact. Tim nearly goes around, and he's fallen all the way back down to P6 after that battle. Meanwhile, Peter wants to get that position back on Bus, and I think now might be the opportunity. He's having a look to the inside of Bus, and he will indeed get that move done on Bus to the inside of turn 2. Lovely move. Now turn 3 though, might fall victim once again here, Peter. Through turn 4 now, heading towards turn 5, the slight right kink to turn 6, to the inside. Bus has seen his opportunity. Peter able to defend, and has defended brilliantly here. Still a 5-car fight here for P2 in this race. All the time, Chris is gaining. Chris is pulling away just more and more every single lap. These guys fight. There is potential for 5 wide at some point if these 5 continue. And don't count out Ghost and Volta yet, and even Dion. There is so many cars that can still join in with this fight. Is that there is Swifty once again, the man at the back. He's trying something new this race, and it clearly isn't working. Tim though seems to have a nice run here on the hard tyre of Davies, and he does indeed have that. Meanwhile, Bus gaining all the time for P2. Here he comes to the inside of Peter, and he will pull it off. Jax then makes contact with Peter in the background. Jax is around, so Jax falls victim to this battle, and will he lose position there to Volta? And Dion, the man in the fight. The championship slips once again out of his hands as Chris makes his early pit stop from the soft tyre onto the mediums. Looks like this will be a 2-stopper here for Chris, as he actually... Oh no, it's just that pit lane glitch again. Where will Chris come out here? Just ahead of Dion. Could we see the 2 championship rivals do battle? I'd be very surprised. As that there, who is that? It's Luke, and is that going to be something like a safety car or a VSC, or is that just a simple retirement? Because he seems to be in the middle of the circuit, but his car is still moving, so I think it is just a simple retirement, and we will leave it at that. Meanwhile though, what now has become the battle for the lead is still going. It's still raging on, even though Jax did have that spin. Could we see these 4 do battle once again, and maybe, just maybe, go 4 wide or 3 wide, depending on the way this could go. Luke, they're leaving the session after his incident, probably just his retirement. Sorry for jinxing you, Luke. I said P5 or P6 for you today, and that clearly didn't happen, so apologies. These 4 now just a bit too far apart from each other to see any action just yet. They're still there though, the 2 Williams cars in the top 5, both of them. Very impressive stuff. One of them on the podium, the other one in P5 it will be after Chris obviously regains all those places, as he has pulled off one of them on Stein, and now can chase down Coach's Kid, Volta, and eventually Ghost. But down the main straight, it actually looks like these three are getting close. Davies is still there on the hard tyre. He's kind of slipping back a bit. Here we go now. Will we see any sort of battling here between these four drivers? I'm not too sure whether we will yet. But there's still potential. As Davies slips back once again, there is a bit of a mistake from Peter. Might allow Bus to pull away a bit in what now is the lead of this race. Effectively is second place in this race. Still very impressive stuff from Bus. He's having a very solid race. The Dutchman. Peter in P2 from Tim in P3, who is now piling on the pressure once again after his spin. He's regained his composure. He's regained all of that time on Peter and Bus through DRS, and now I think he might have a look at Peter, or will Peter even have a look at Bus? This could go any way, this straight line battle. I think it's going to go no one's way, and indeed it doesn't. No one takes home the victory off that straight line, but Peter once again gains heavy amounts of time there on Bus. I think we could see Peter versus Bus. I was going to say for the race win, that's definitely going to be the case. Tim's still here though, piling on the pressure on Peter, who now is gaining time on Bus after that snap of oversteer through turn 15 from Bus, and once again through turn 1 he's run a bit wider, through turn 2 just the same. Will we see a move here from Peter on Bus soon, or will we see Tim get both of them, or just having a snap of oversteer off the back of turn 4 once again? Now through turn 5 and now into turn 6. Still really anyone's fight here tonight. Obviously Davies on the hard tyre can go longer than these guys and can pull off a one stop here tonight. Other than medium runners also seem to want to pull off this one stop. I'm sure Davies though will have the better tyres in just a few laps time. Peter though gaining time on Bus. Is this going to be the opportunity that he sees? And it is, by the looks of things, going to be the opportunity he sees. Is no, he's lost time on Bus, but Bus also with the snap there. So can Peter still get him here? This is going to be tight now down the straight. I think it will still. Yes, it will. It's still going to be Bus from Peter now then. Now the question really is, which one of these guys will react first? Meanwhile here, on the grass there, Chris for a few seconds. He gets another move done, but I don't think Coaches is going to make this too easy for him. But he's Chris. He finds a way through no matter what. So, yeah, that's another move done. Chris moves up now into P7. Volta Reflex gets scared and pits. Coach's kid there gets a time penalty further back. These three at the front still, they're not doing anything, they're just kind of holding each other up. This is what this is becoming. Chris has gained all the time in the world. Chris could well be 20 seconds ahead by the end of this race. Oh, Tim! He's been having those snaps all race and it's ended badly for him. As now Peter versus Bus seems to be the main fight here. But Davies is still having a look. If those two fight a bit too much, then I think Davies can definitely squeeze into this battle himself. Tim has a lot of time to regain now, a lot of composure, and now he will battle Chris on the new mediums. This just proves the domination from him as Tim, once again with the snap, gets himself overtaken by the maestro of this championship. Unbelievable stuff from him. But now we might see a battle for the lead of the race, which is exactly what we want to see here. Bus might fall under pressure here. I think he will fall under pressure. Here comes Peter. Might go to the inside. Chooses the outside line in the end. They are battling. Will this allow Davies to sneak in as well or not? He does gain a little bit of time. Bit more time. As that there, we do see both of them pit. Neither Peter or Bus can pull off overtakes on the other. And they will both now dive into the lane and promote Chris back up to P2 in this race, which will obviously become P1. Back to the pit lane fight though. Who will come out on top in this one? Will Bus still come out on top? Yes. Nice and easy for Bus. in the end there. Meanwhile there, Ghost not too far behind them, and Tim also in that fight. Everyone's choosing hards here. So Chris here is going for the 2-stop. Meanwhile everyone else here wants the 1-stop completed. I think the 1-stop is still on though on these mediums. From soft to medium, if Chris pulls off this 1-stop, that is very, very impressive stuff from the Dutchman. As we will now go on board with them, there isn't too much battling elsewhere. Obviously, Bus versus Peter is still happening, but that's happening every single lap now. Through turn 13, here he comes. The man of the hour, as usual. It's only lap 13. We're only at halfway distance in this race. Is